What up, guys? Welcome back to the Overkill Underground. So we were talking earlier here. We were talking Hillary. We were talking Bill. We were talking nominees. We were talking Trump. Obviously, there's a lot going on in this whole political scheme, this game, this show that we watch. Robert, thanks for joining us here. Why don't you give us
Bobby Bob? Political analyst for the Underground.
That's right, Doug as well. Thank you for being here.
Hey, man, I love it.
So, Robert, why don't you fill us in here with what you see going on? There's, obviously we're looking at Hillary. We're waiting for her to be indicted. We're waiting for Biden to jump into this race. We're waiting to see what happens with Trump and if he's going to try to be cooperative with Cruz. I mean, there's a lot of things going on here. What's your take on what's going on?
I'll address the Democrats first. I think that their nomination is up in the air. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't think anybody knows who it's going to be. It's not going to be Bernie Sanders, I don't think. It's not going to be Hillary Clinton, I don't think.
You're not feeling the burn? You're not feeling the burn?
Feeling the bird is...
No, the burn.
The Bernie.
The burn.
Yeah. So you see somebody probably coming out and joining the presidential race in the Democratic Party.
I do.
I completely disagree with that. Hillary is going to win South Carolina, and then they're just going to ride her out. They're definitely going to ride her out.
Hillary is
pardon any sort of pun that is or whatever that is, but they're going to ride her out. The Democrats.
Hillary is neck and neck with a socialist.
Well,
think about that.
No, absolutely. There's no way that Bernie Sanders...
They're already rigging it, though, Bob.
I know
they're already rigging
it. Well, yeah. That's the Clinton way. They've got to cover every base and, leave no tracks behind.
Oh, yeah.
We will not see Bernie Sanders as a nominee. His views are far too left, and that's fine. He's there, as part of the plan, as the Democrats and as the Republicans, as all of them have. They have their agenda. They're pushing on. They're gaining ground with what their own agenda is. Obviously we see the liberals, they want to give and kind of pull back the freedoms from people so that they can have more control over a lot more things. There's, all kinds, industrial things, you have all kinds of regulations and whatever it is. There's more taxes that are imposed, and then of course they're going to try to give out more, whatever it happens to be, So we see Bernie Sanders he's there as a pawn right now to kind of put out in front of the people so that they can absorb his vibe, his energy, see how much of this the Americans are willing to take, see where he racks up in the polls, in the percentage. What percentage of Americans are looking at Bernie Sanders right now and saying, let's go, this is my guy? And so they're tracking this. They know they're watching the numbers, and so
what you're saying,
he's a good show. He's a great socialist experiment for the American people to kind of absorb into. And then we have Hillary, of course. She's far left as well, and we see her being maybe the nominee. But I also think that there's I think there's also a real good possibility. I really do. I think there's a good possibility that we will see somebody else enter the presidential race for the Democrats. I think Joe Biden will end up getting into the race. I really do. I think Joe Biden is sooner or later. Watch and see. I don't know what the deadline is, but I've heard analysts talk about he has till midsummer.
Yeah.
So I've heard as early as April, but I've heard analysts say now midsummer Joe could jump into this thing, and then we could have Biden into the race for presidency. So if we see something like this happen, Without a doubt, I can guarantee over Hillary for sure. If that were to happen and Joe Biden jumps in the race, I can see him being nominee guaranteed, without a doubt. I can see that happening.
Don't forget Martin O'Malley is still standing there. He's still in the race.
Jeez. The Irishman is out.
So is Christie.
Yeah, Christie's gone. Eating cheeseburgers again.
Well, look, who else is going to be their nominee? It's not going to be
It's
Hillary
gonna be
Clinton.
Hillary.
It's
I'm
not going to
telling
be
you, it's her
It's not
time.
going to be Hillary Clinton.
I like Charlie's
She's too
little
corrupt.
experiment thing. Like, could the Democrats be putting up a socialist just to feel out the American people at this point?
Without a doubt.
That's pretty cool. I mean, why don't the Republicans put out a huge conservative and let's just figure that out, see how they feel? Because right now, the huge conservative is kind of winning, and that's working.
To a certain extent. I mean, I
Not
think
Trump
if you're
wise,
looking...
Ted.
Trump's not a real
even-
conservative. He's
No,
a,
I wasn't
he's
referring to
conservative
Trump.
with a mask
right.
on.
No, I mean, right. Trump, we're not really looking at as the conservative within the Republicans. But if you want to look to what I think, you could classify as a hardcore or closer to the hardcore conservative, Ben Carson, for sure. I mean, without a doubt, he would be on that real far end of conservative. Trump, we look at, and really we can't call and say, I think, what or where he lies in the conservative to liberal territory. He's really somewhere in between. He's definitely a moderate.
I think he could have run
as
for
far
any
as-
party.
He absolutely
he just didn't
could.
want to run against
No,
Hillary.
he absolutely
early on.
could.
That's what because he knows Hillary's going to be nominated no matter what.
And it's funny too. Yeah, I mean, it's funny
That's why
Trump-
he chose the
it's-
Republican side.
Trump, in a way, is running against Obama. In a way,
Well,
if you
yeah.
look at his strategy, he's saying how bad things are and that Trump is going to do a better job. He doesn't give any ways. How is he going to do it? How are you going to negotiate with people that you've already pissed off? I mean, seriously.
That's true. I think that's a great point. He's not giving any. He's giving solutions
And we hear
or
a lot
answers,
about
but
this,
no
right.
way to get
Right.
to those.
right.
A
Where's
cam- a
the
campaign-
substance?
A campaign of generalities driven by a guy who is known, who has some popularity, is hard to beat. And he's coming out and he's making controversy where there is none.
Well, which is perfect. Well, I told Bob this, and I was
He's
telling you
making
this.
controversies
This is what
where there is
this
none.
is what the
and
Democrats do to the Republicans all the time, and Trump is running.
He's running
against
the same- he's running
doing
the same
He's
campaign.
playing the Democrats'
Absolutely.
game against Republicans,
Absolutely, and that's
this
why
might
it's
be
killing
good
them.
training for
That's-
the Republicans.
That's why it's killing them
Yep.
right now. The media is killing them because the media has actually globbed onto Trump, and they've put him on this pedestal.
with the
They don't realize it. They really don't realize it because they're as far as I've seen.
They realize
No,
it.
I think they've tried to paint him in a darker light. I think they've tried to show him.
Not at all.
As far as I've seen, when I see news coverage, they're always trying to throw him under the bus for something. They're always trying to say how he's, too aggressive and he's always smearing people, and they're always trying to say how he's doing things wrong. As far as I've seen, a lot from the media, that's the way they portray it. But at the same time, I don't think they can get away with it. They're not able to get away with it. Is the whole thing? He is totally playing, and so what he does is he puts himself in the spotlight, and you lose what the news anchors say. Nobody really cares what they have to say because we end up hearing him speak for himself.
Mm-hmm.
We understand his points of views. He doesn't come up with a lot of substance. I mean, he's not talked a lot of tax reform. He hasn't, really put his views as far as what he thinks about abortion and gay rights, and we haven't heard a lot of substance to any of those things. We may know, he may give his opinion of what he feels on that, but he hasn't built up, as far as what is, his direction for the country. We haven't heard it. We just haven't heard it.
Well, we're not going to hear it until he gets a big enough lead to where it won't make any difference.
I think he'd better start.
And
if he doesn't start spitting things out right now.
Look, the media wants him to win. The liberal media wants him to win the nomination because they think they can beat him. The media knows they're not going to beat Rubio. They're not going to beat Cruz. They're not going to beat Kasich. They're probably not going to beat Bush with what they've got on their side. They know that.
No, I think they have a better chance of beating those guys.
I don't.
I think the media can tear down Jeb Bush much easier than they can tear down Trump.
So
he's not going to be the nominee either.
So
you can tear down Rubio
without
just as easy as he's a house of cards right now, Rubio.
But the media wants him
There's
to
a lot
win.
of things, right. There's a lot of things that these guys, they do these things that ends up, I mean, they put a lot of things in front of themselves that backfire. A lot of these candidates.
I mean, Trump's a creature right now Trump's a creature that they've never dealt with at this point in time. And they've usually had to support his type. Right now, they have to fight his type of creature, and they don't know how to do it.
They don't have.
But they know how to deal with Kasich. They know how to deal with Rubio.
Right.
They know how to deal with those guys.
This is
a
whole new set of tools that they got to pull out of the toolbox to deal with somebody like they have supported this entire time. And now, as much as they try to tear him down, they end up building him up because the people, I think the American people, really do. They look to this guy and say, this is the same kind of frustration and anger that we've been dealing with. We're tired of the media. I'm tired of the media. I don't care what Fox News says. I don't care what CNN is. All these people, a lot of these mainstream media people, I don't listen to. I really don't. I catch snippets. I listen to snippets because I listen to more alternative media. Now, whether or not, some people argue that some alternative media might not be legitimate enough. When they're getting it straight from the horse's mouth, when you see videos that alternative media puts up of Bill Clinton, giving his speeches about Hillary and, he's all happy and congratulating her. He literally says, oh, well, if you, want somebody that can walk and chew gum, I guarantee she can do that.
Yeah.
It's like, are you kidding me? Like, that's all you got to say about your wife that is running for president? She can walk and chew gum?
He's never.
Well, we're supposed to be happy about
Bill
that?
Clinton.
You got to be kidding me.
Bill Clinton,
I'm not even sure that she could. But
Bill Clinton has never wanted his wife to be president.
He's never. They want back in the house.
He doesn't.
They want back in the White House, Bob, real bad.
I think so too.
They both want to be back there.
He knows she can't do the job.
He
could care less if
he's an old man.
He could care less. She could care less if she could even do the job.
Yeah.
Chelsea and Bill have been running all over the entire country, giving speeches for
and they're
Hillary.
not helping a bit because she's 50-50
I don't know. I wouldn't
socialist.
say that they're not helping. Chelsea was just here in Cleveland.
People are sick of Bill Clinton at this stage. They're sick of him.
They're reaching out to as many people as they can, and they're spilling the same bullshit rhetoric.
If Bill didn't want to be back in the White House, then why did he stick around? Usually when presidents reach their 8 years, they usually disappear. They never are supposed to speak up
really
again.
Wanted to be
Bill kept speaking up and showing up on TV even before his wife was even talking about.
You can see Bill Clinton salivating, getting back up in that Oval Office. You know what I'm saying? He wants to get back up into the Oval Office.
Look, nobody will be watching him when he's bringing broads in.
All the parties happen. He knew that's where it was at.
Let me say something about his recent.
He had it going on.
Bill Clinton's recent behavior and the way he was. When you saw him,
he's no different now.
Behind him during her speech, you would think he would be somebody who was paying attention and somebody that people can look at and say, he's the former president. He's back there going like this, looking around, da-da-da-da-da.
I mean, I would be too. I mean, it's boring as hell listening to his wife talk.
And it tells you something about.
I wouldn't be able to sit through that.
The cackle is
pretty
cool, though. I love the cackle.
Oh,
you gotta love the cackle.
Beautiful,
it's awesome.
Beautiful.
He couldn't even.
It's one of the best. It's one of the best.
He couldn't listen to her. He couldn't even listen to her. Seriously.
Well, he doesn't. He leaves the house as soon as they get home. He just goes. He's out on his own. Or she leaves. I don't know what she's doing.
He might be hanging out at the Oval Office still. Him and Obama, who knows?
Oh, yeah.
You don't know what goes on in those circles, dude.
No.
I'm just saying.
With their circles.
I don't have any. I'm not. Right.
The Clinton circle, it's probably pretty far out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, the Clintons are. They're very. They are crazy. I mean, we could get into in with the Bilderberg group and big UN people and big New World Order people and whatever. I mean, the conspiracy the conspiracy theorists are chomping at the bit.
Well, the Clintons are just for themselves.
The Clintons, right?
They've always been just
the
for
Clintons
themselves,
are absolutely
and
for
that's what
themselves.
they've
I don't
been
think the
about.
relationship between Obama
Without a
and the
doubt.
Clintons are that good either. I don't think
It's
Obama.
That's
Right,
why.
it's hard to
That's
say.
a part of the reason why I think she's going to be indicted, because he doesn't have anything to gain by
I do
Now
know-
you're
her
going
out.
deep. Now
He
you're
doesn't
going
have
deep.
anything to gain by bailing her out.
She ain't getting indicted till after the election,
No,
Bobby.
it'll be in the next few weeks.
The Clintons are worth so much money, though. It's ridiculous. I mean, and I could be wrong, but I think Hillary was listed in the net worth of 40 something $million. What's ridiculous about that is the fact that they've made a lot of this money from giving speeches. Illegitimate bullshit speeches that are bullshit rhetoric.
Yep.
It's just a happy feel.
Her quid
It's these
pro
hap-
quo.
It's these
Well, she was
happy
at
feeling
State
speeches.
Department, her quid pro quo. Hey, I'll give you. Guess what? You guys pay us this kind of money. When I get in the White House, I'll do this for you. And quid pro quo. Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Well, I don't think she's going to get indicted. I think she's going to run, and I think she's going to win it.
You don't
And
think
you'll be
you don't think she'll get indicted?
No, not until. How many times? I was telling Bob this. How many times in the past, I don't know, 15 years since the Clintons hit the stage, how many times have you said to yourself, we finally got him? We finally got the Clintons. We got Bill finally. He's going to get impeached. We got Hillary finally. Benghazi, we got her. Or all those bimbos she called bimbos and got her out of the house. But we never got them.
Right.
Never.
There's that. There's that. But when did anybody actually want to get them? I mean, really, this is the Clintons we're talking about. These people have some serious power in government, and whether we realize it or not, I mean, Bill Clinton's whatever it is, second cousin. I mean, he's on the $2 bill. These people are enriched in the place they're at. These people never leave. I mean, that's the thing. These people, these same families, same people, they stay in power for centuries, it seems. And here we are. The Clintons are not going anywhere anytime soon.
But they wanted to get Bill during the impeachment. Impeachment hardly happens unless you want to get somebody.
One of them is.
They wanted to get him then.
Soon.
I don't think the impeachment thing. I think that was it never happened. So that's just one way of me looking at that and saying, you know what, Bill was never in any trouble at that time. They had to bring it up. It had to be brought up. I mean, or else the news media wouldn't have been doing their job.
He was never in trouble with it.
They wouldn't have been doing their job if things hadn't been carried out so far for the American people to feel. We all knew he was full of shit.
But
we all knew he lied under oath. Nothing ever happened because of it. The Clintons are
and nothing's going to happen now.
Yes,
nothing's going to happen now.
Yeah, she's going to be indicted. Let me tell you why.
I think there is a difference. There is a difference
there
about
is
this
a difference
time.
this time. We know that she signed an agreement to conduct business on a government server. We know that. We know that she did not do that. She did all of her government business on a non-secure server. That alone she should be indicted for that.
She won't be. She's going to get away with it.
I mean,
but she
whether or not
classified information on her unsecure server. She should go to jail for that, actually, to be honest with you.
Of course, but she's not going to
But
get...
she
so
will be
that's
indicted
the thing.
for
That's
it.
the whole thing. Though.
She'll be indicted
after
for
the
it.
election when the Republican wins.
In the next few weeks, she's going to
Bobby,
be
you
indicted.
said that a few weeks ago.
I know I did.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, will she be indicted? I think that it's going to eventually happen because it's the thing is too
they need to get it done so the Democrats
you gotta understand,
can react to it.
They would have done that then a couple months ago if they wanted to do
I think
that.
I think this time it is different because of that very fact that I think the Republican base the American people, if something doesn't happen, I think people are going to be outraged. I really do. I think people are already outraged.
I do too.
At the fact, and if I think a lot of the Republicans are just saying to themselves, and I'm talking countrywide, a lot of the American people are saying, listen, it's going to be any time now. It's going to be any time now, right? How can she get away with this again? How can the Clintons get away with this again? If you ask me, I don't know.
They're going to get away with it.
I really don't know.
They're going to get away with it again.
But ask yourself, how can she do this?
She's just going to...
Is she really going to do this?
Yeah, they're really going to do this. They really did Obamacare. Everybody was outraged about that. They really did that. They're really going to do this.
Yeah, you lead into a good point.
They're really going to do this. This is going to disappear, or they're going to find someone who did something just like her, portray us, and make it sound like it was twice as worse. Or there's going to be some hurricane that comes up, and that's going to take the news cycle out of this whole thing, and no one's even going to talk about Hillary after that.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it disappears.
You're only so right. You're only so right.
People don't.
That's sad, but true.
There could be a tsunami that wipes out like Cuba, and we'll be talking about Cuba for the next 2 weeks, and no one will even mention Hillary in the newscast. Nobody.
Hillary's going to have a hard time disappearing from the media, though. She really will.
Well, if she appears, she'll be giving speeches or victory
speeches. She's been doing a good job of it
for
the last few months during the campaign. She's never out there. I mean,
no.
She's very seldom out there.
But nobody's coming after her. No one, she's winning.
Well, let me say, she wasn't campaigning at all until Bernie Sanders started to catch fire a little bit, and then
Obamacare was one thing, though. And I don't think people were thinking or people weren't serious enough, or something didn't happen. Obviously, something carried on throughout the Senate where things were able to happen for that to take place, and Obamacare is here, and we're dealing with it, and I think people are still outraged about it, and I think people will be outraged if something doesn't happen with Hillary soon, and I think the outrage it's going to continue to bubble up.
How is that going to be vented? Are we going to have protests? Because people on the Republican side, we have jobs. We don't go out on rallies. We don't go to churches where ministers stand up and we need to go on a march.
I agree.
I mean, that doesn't happen on our side. So how is this going to vent? Where are we going to show our outrage? We can't vote any more Republicans in there. We already hold both houses. We got the Senate. We got the House. I mean, we barely have the justices anymore.
Here would be our chance.
This.
Right. Here would be our only chance, I think. And we all, we see Donald Trump. He's in the news. He's in the spotlight. This is the guy that's, he's the front runner right now. But if we, look past all that and we look to who's going to be the serious nominee, I think Donald Trump, does he have a chance? There is a chance. I mean, I can't say. I don't know. There's a chance. There's a chance.
I see him fizzling out here later
I can't say.
There's a chance. I just can't say. A chance at this point.
I just can't say either way. I just can't say either way. I don't think anybody can. But if you have somebody like Ted Cruz get into office, I think that this will be one of these things that, well, not even into office, but as a nominee, even before, if he were to be the nominee before an election even process happened, I think that people like Ted Cruz are going to start digging at this. I would hope. If they don't, then I would be even curious.
What do you mean, like attacking Trump?
No, not Trump, but Hillary. But Hillary. Somebody, and I would hope that it would be Ted Cruz, somebody better start digging at this a little bit. Because if you ask me, if somebody doesn't get outraged about this, there's serious problems in this country. The media's not going to do it.
We already know the media's nothing's going to happen if she gets off this.
We already know the media's not going to do anything about it. We know the media's not going to do it. And we're not worried about the media doing anything about it because we don't expect that. We know Donald Trump isn't going to say anything about it. He's Hillary's buddy, as far as I'm concerned. But if somebody like Ted Cruz gets the nominee, I could see, and I would hope, and if he doesn't, then I would be disappointed. Somebody at least going after this. I mean, isn't this?
I think that will happen.
Isn't this something that needs to happen?
I definitely think that will happen.
Oh yeah.
And it's got to happen.
Though, you're playing in-house, though. Right now, you're playing in-house.
And everybody's right. Everybody's guarded. Everybody's guarded. The election process is getting. We're still going through.
South Carolina's big.
Right.
South Carolina's big on.
Oh yeah.
For the Republicans, and Nevada's big for the Democrats.
Exactly. We still got South Carolina coming up, and there's a
And
lot of
it's
things
big.
that are materializing here.
I think we're going to see a surprise in South Carolina. I don't know who it's going to be or what, but it's going to be a lot closer than the polls say.
I see Rubio beating Cruz out in South Carolina, unfortunately.
Well, maybe in the southern,
Even
in the more southern area, I could see that too. Dude, I'll tell you what, I like Rubio, I really do. I like Cruz. I always love seeing Trump because of just who he is. He's that character you just love to see in the mix.
He's
of
bringing
everything.
people to watch the Republicans debate. And that's all we need. We need people to listen to these guys.
And somebody has to, right?
Because they've been told that Republicans are these evil guys. But once they watch because they was like, I want to watch Trump. But then all of a sudden they're listening to Cruz. And then all of a sudden they're listening to Rubio. And they're saying, well, these guys aren't so bad.
Don't forget
And
Kasich.
I'm hoping that people are finally putting together like, hey, this is
Kasich.
when we look at the more conservative views, don't we look at the more common sense views? Am I wrong?
I think Trump's...
Am I wrong
Well,
here?
Trump
No,
gets more viewers in there, and then the
you-
debate starts, and it turns into...
No, I think
crap
people are
fest.
getting their
I mean,
points
and-
across. But I think you're onto something. This is common sense is what people want.
Liberal views are not exactly common sense.
No,
we look
nothing's-
at the liberal views. We're looking at a lot of, a lot of people just say, well, it's a lot of trying to tax people and spread the wealth. This whole thing, obviously, you come out and call it a communist, socialist type of setting. We look at these guys. We know what they believe in to their core beliefs. Some of them, not all of them, but even to without the extreme, the view on the way that the liberals look at things, even in the more less liberal ways that they do things. We see just the way that the Obamacare has worked out. It just, that when they need to come and get funding for all the programs that they want to set up, obviously it hasn't worked in Obamacare. Most of the programs that I think liberals set up within big cities, we've seen a lot of liberal cities run by Democrats. I think that, I don't know if there's a statistic or a percentage, but as far as I know, you see a lot of the bigger cities that are run by Democrats, they're not doing
they're
very
failing.
good at all.
They're definitely
They're
failing.
they're doing bad.
If we put up a wall, and conservatives on one side, liberals on the other, how long before the liberals are climbing over that wall, coming to our side, the conservative side? Not very long.
That's exactly it.
It's just what happens. It's just
these aren't common sense measures that we see liberals taking.
The money runs out at some point.
That's the thing. It's just,
out.
There is a really easy way to look at these things, and it's hard for me to explain it. It really is. I can't just sit here and say, "Oh, this is just common sense." It's harder for some people to understand. A lot of people that don't have anything or that are, handicapped even. There's a lot of people. Let's start with the veterans. Okay, let's start with the veterans. How deplorable have they been treated after what they've done, what they've gone through in serving this country, and they come home, and a lot of veterans, worthless health care, no opportunities at jobs when they get back. They go through a lot of things with, it's absolutely unacceptable. And, these are common sense approaches that I think conservatives look at solving these problems. We've seen Obama in office for the last 7 years here. We haven't seen anything get any better for these veterans, and it's been preached, I think, over and over and over again. Well, that's the thing. People do, though. Care. There's people that do, though. And sooner or later, the outrage is going to overpour.
Unfortunately,
people aren't going to be, thinking, Trump. We love Trump because he's the one that's got the anger, and he's the one that's kind of fighting for the American people. People are going to come to their senses as far as looking towards who's going to be the more conservative person. We're done looking at the non-common sense ways that liberals try to run things. They can come up with all kinds of programs and special whatever, I mean, like I said, it's hard for me to explain to anybody how you can look at a liberal standpoint or try to understand a communist standpoint, because a lot of liberals kind of, as far as, like I said, with Bernie Sanders, kind of testing the waters and seeing where the American people lay as a percentage and what kind of people are willing to follow that thought process when you realize that the people that work for what they have are going to be working a lot harder and receiving a lot less year and year and year again, because you're going to see things even out, and you're going to have people that are chilling at home doing whatever they want to do.
Stagnant wages.
They're going to, and those people are going to have the same benefits that the people that are going out and running their own businesses, even to an extreme, would have. Now, obviously, that wouldn't happen overnight in this country here, but we see that in other countries. I mean, we see other countries, people are forced to start businesses, run businesses, work ungodly hours, and get paid just as much as the worthless do-nothing that, I mean, these things happen.
You're paid more, but you're just taxed more.
It's not right.
It
It's
evens
right.
it out.
There is right. There is.
You can be making more.
That's right. True.
You're just
true.
not keeping that much.
And this is where we start falling apart from this common sense approach, where I don't think, as far as I see, I keep looking, and how else can you explain it?
Well, the common sense approach to this election is the people are sick of the Democrats and the Republicans in Washington, D.C., and we need a different approach.
Now, I think the Republicans right now are saying, well, we got the House, we just got the Senate. Let's just let the Democrats keep running it and see if we can keep pushing the envelope so they're begging to put a Republican in as president. Then we'll have it all. Well, that's what I think they're doing. I think they're trying to push us over the edge where we just keep voting them in.
Well, I'll tell you what. A lot of the Democrats, I think, are too stupid to stop and maybe slow it down a little bit, and they will push. They'll push it right over the edge.
The Republicans are going to let the Democrats do whatever they want in hopes that people get so fed up that they've got to vote in a Republican.
They're going to let them run their train right off the rails. Absolutely, I think
Ryan knows what he's doing in the House.
Well,
I agree with that too. Well, I agree with that scenario 100%.
That's what the part of the Republican angle should be. Hey, look. We can have the Senate. We've got the House with Paul Ryan, who's a workmanlike guy. Give us the White House, and we'll all work together.
Which is what he said. He said we can't. He said on a news interview that we can't do anything unless we have the White House, anyways. He says I can sit here all day and stop the president, but there's some things I can't stop him on. We need the presidency. That's what gave me the clue that hey, we're going to let these guys do whatever they want. Till you give us what we want.
Paul Ryan would have been a nice candidate.
So what South Carolina, when is that? What's that, this week? South Carolina?
South Carolina's Saturday.
Saturday. So we got the whole voting thing. All the debates are done. We got the primary votes.
Right. That's right.
And then where are we off to after that? Do we go...
Ohio. The Democrats have Nevada.
Well, it depends. Yeah, I was going to say it depends on who you're looking at.
I don't remember where the Republicans go after that.
Will we see the field dwindle?
Well, we have the next Republican debate.
I think we will see the field dwindle after South Carolina. I don't know who it'll be, but I think somebody will pull out.
We'll see.
I think probably Ben Carson's. To me, he's only getting 2-3% every.
I think Carson's in it just to get a news gig on Fox News. That's the only reason I think he's still in it.
I
but
agree.
I don't know.
I see them dwindling, but we're looking now at the people at the bottom now. We're looking for vice president candidates at this point, is my opinion.
I agree.
We're trying to figure out who we want backing these guys up at this point right now.
I agree with
I mean,
that too.
There's a couple candidates there, but we're going to see them dwindle them out, which I want to see more. I want to see 3 or 4 here pretty soon.
I do too.
I'm really tired of this thing. I want to see the big guns go at it, and I want to see where people stand. People can stand too many places right now. I want to see them pick a side.
That's why the Republicans don't need to panic yet, because you're going to get that. You're going to get Trump against either Cruz or Rubio or Kasich. I know you guys are think I'm crazy, but one, two, or all three of those guys are going to be on the debate stage, and they're going to go into policy, and at some point they're going to look at Donald and say, hey, how are you going to do that? You've made a lot of people angry. How are you going to pull the Muslims in to help us in the fight against ISIS? How are you going to do that?
I definitely get that, but
So
I don't think Kasich has the cash for
That's
it.
kind of, I mean, right. That's what makes you understand that Trump can't really be a serious Republican candidate.
He hasn't been exposed yet.
It's those little things that people have added up, but just haven't really put together in a bundle package.
Right.
They're more fun. They're having more fun watching him in the spotlight.
Yes.
And looking at him just ranting and raving and kind of just keeping that momentum going, but with good intent for the Republican Party as a whole. In some aspects, I mean, obviously, he's the one that's battling the media, and he's winning. Now,
he might have been shielding the other candidates from the media at this point. Everybody's concentrating on Trump.
I would sure think so, right?
Those guys from
absolutely.
all the concentration of media attention. The media would have been picking these guys off left and right by now.
The media's going to have enough time to do that.
They tried to knock off Rubio with that Christie attack.
They're going to have enough time to do that. I don't think that's a big concern of theirs. They're going to have plenty of time to knock around whoever
they're just
the
not
Republican
being able to pick
is.
our candidate for us at this point in time, because I think Trump is that umbrella right now from that.
I think they're promoting
exactly
Trump because
where I would put him.
They think they can beat him. They're not going to promote anybody that they don't think they can beat.
Right. And right now they can't attack anybody else because Trump is shielding everyone else from the rain.
And they're playing along with Trump because they want him to win. The media wants him to win.
I could almost see that.
I think Trump is good for the Republican Party
see that.
if he doesn't win the nomination. He's good. I think he's good. I think this is good. I think he's putting some muscle into it, giving us some attention.
Yeah.
But I think if he's got to lose the nomination. I don't think he'll.
Is he going to sabotage himself?
He might go third party.
He won't go third party.
They did mention it again.
They mentioned bringing that up again. I think he just wants to scare people.
They did mention it again. Right.
I think that was part of his intention. I think the polling that he's shown is a surprise to him. I think it's a surprise to all of us, I think.
Maybe it is.
That he's had a big lead in all these states.
It has been a surprise to me as of lately. I think as far as we go on week after week, month after month, I look at Trump and I'm like, damn, dude's still in it. I mean, he is still the front runner in this thing. And, we press forward. Obviously, Cruz is still in this. Rubio's still in this.
Jeb's coming back. He's coming back.
The thing about the thing about Jeb too is you look at somebody like Jeb. You're not even sure. I mean, this guy he could be the next one.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's running out of money.
Jeb could be the one.
Trump
took wasted a lot of money in New Hampshire.
Did you hear about that, Charlie? Trump took Jeb's website and
I would believe it.
The Google redirected it, so if you typed in Jeb Bush, you'd go straight to Trump's website. And then Trump took Ted Cruz's website, and because Ted Cruz didn't renew it, and if you click on Ted Cruz's website,
bought his domain.
Yeah, if you click on Ted Cruz's, it'll send you to how to immigrate to Canada.
That's a little bit dirty, man.
I think
all in politics.
I think
all is fair in love and in politics.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
That's the best part of the game.
I'll tell you what.
They need to take the gloves off against him and see if the scarecrow has any muscle on him.
Yeah.
It's just,
Well, we got some things coming up.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. We're going to be great.
There's a lot
how
going on.
How are we going to be great? How are we going to do it?
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. We got to look to what. I mean, we got to start being serious with ourselves here too. We got to start looking towards. I mean, we all have in mind the people or the character that we want as somebody to run is the biggest office in the world. I mean, the president of the United States. This is nothing to joke around about. Even though we look at who's president now, and it's like it has been a joke. But we're getting there. We're moving up. We're going to be into the next Republican debate here. It is February 25th. That's the next Republican debate. That will be at the University of Houston in Houston, Texas. And then we have another Republican debate after that. We were, talking. That'll be on March 3rd. That one will be in Detroit, Michigan. Then we'll follow up with the two Democratic debates.
That'll be right before Super Tuesday.
I can only imagine, right? Yeah. Right? Will they not mention the water? I would be surprised if nobody says anything about the Flint, Michigan crisis.
Maybe Hillary's already been to Detroit and drank some of that water.
Well, we have the Democratic debates.
Did you see that?
The Democratic debate for March 6th is in Flint, Michigan.
Nice.
So that'll be the Democratic debate.
Wow.
Sometimes I look at this stuff and I start thinking to myself, I can't even believe maybe if what I see is true some of the times. I mean, it's things like this,
What
right?
a coincidence.
It's right. It's things like this. It's like, you watch this show unfold in front of you. The Democrats and the Republicans, they may all be the same person. It's hard to even tell these days. We're going to wrap it up on that note, though, folks.
Not the same.
Love you, Bobby.
I thank you guys for being here.
Great to be here.
We'll be back again here next week.
Have a great week.
We're going to talk some more ridiculousness. See where these debates end off. And we'll catch you guys again next week. Thanks for being here. Later.
Bye.